Does legacy media really care about this slop, misogyny ecosystem that New York Times is pushing and this oafy dokie? Do they really care about amplifying the voices of women that are less powerful or that have been mistreated on movie sets or TV sets? Or is it just they are the spokesperson, they are the mouthpiece for someone that is incredibly powerful, aka Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Ashley Brianna Eve. I have over 15 years of experience in branding and marketing, and my particular interest is narrative control through SEO, and that's what we talk about on my channel in relationship to the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni lawsuits. Now, you might be thinking, Ashley, you haven't been talking much about this case in the last couple of days. Well, the reality is nothing is happening. There is nothing that is relevant to what I speak on, my expertise, branding, marketing, SEO, that's really been going down. It has been crickets. And I was watching Donna Bowling's video, her reel. It's really good about this and about the slop ecosystem, slop misogyny ecosystem. Great reel. And it got me thinking because she mentioned something that's been happening that came out and kind of was swept under the rug. And I don't know if you've heard about this. And I even had to Google her name today. But Devyn LaBella came out against Kevin Costner, another A-lister, to say that she had experienced SH and some horrific issues on the set of An American Saga, I think it was. See, I don't even know the details because no one's talking about it. And it was an unscripted grape scene, if you know what I mean. An unscripted grape scene. But that's the problem. No one's talking about it. Legacy media isn't talking about it. New York Times doesn't give a shit. And interestingly, the woman who proclaimed herself the voice for women's rights, the woman who proclaimed herself to be the person that will be the voice for women that do not have a voice. Yes, Blake Lively. Crickets. And someone may say, well, she's in the middle of her own lawsuit. Speaking out and issuing a statement or amplifying Devyn's voice right now, I'm sorry, wouldn't impact her case. Ryan and Blake have been making jokes about this lawsuit in this case for the last, I don't know, since SNL 50. And when Ryan made the joke, which funny enough, Kevin Costner was there. All the big time A-listers were there. Kevin Costner was there. They've been continuously alluding to the lawsuit. They've been continuously making fun of it. But when it really matters, Blake's quiet. She has nothing to say about Devyn because it really doesn't serve a purpose to her. This is what channel? Entertainment Tonight posted as a quote from Blake's award-winning, she was a Titan at Time 100 speech. How we use that voice matters. Who and what we stand up for and what we stay silent about, what we monetize versus what we actually live matters. So Blake feels that how you use your voice matters, what you stand up for matters. And she says that you essentially should walk your talk, that you shouldn't just be saying that you do one thing and then not doing it. What she says here, what we monetize, what versus what we actually live matters. The fact that Blake Lively has been silent, not just silent, when she apparently had this massive win, when we know Blake will go on a celebration tour, a victory tour. She will gladly talk about being vindicated because Justin Baldoni's losing certain aspects of his case. She's been silent on that. But she herself, in her words, although I'm sure this was a PR person that wrote this, talks about how you use your voice matters, what you stand up for matters, and that you should walk your talk. Okay, Blake, we're all waiting. What do you think about Devyn? Or sorry, legacy media and Blake Lively, do we only listen to A-listers? Do we only care about amplifying the voices of the rich and famous? Now I have Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous playing in my head. Because none of y'all, legacy media or Blake, care about Devyn's case. Because it doesn't make you money. It's not going to get you the clicks, New York Times. So what you monetize, you're monetizing Blake Lively. It's getting you the clicks at the end of the day, and clicks equal money. I know legacy media wants to portray to you that only content creators are making money off this case. It's a bunch of bullshit. They're making money. Every click makes them money. And so therefore, legacy media is monetizing, not protect all women, not amplify the voices of the voiceless, not amplify the voices of those that are less powerful. It's amplify who makes us money. It's amplify who gets us clicks. It's amplifying who benefits us to amplify. And you can find so much about Blake going on and on about how she has a voice for others. This was in her stories when she was awarded the Titan Award, which is absolutely asinine. She says, I'm able to see this moment almost looking back from the future or looking ahead from childhood. And from every time period, I can see how profound this is to me, not just to be included, but to have a voice. It's a fortunate thing when it should be a given. So thank you to time to each of you who uplift the many who live boldly, even when it's scary. And more. Blake Lively discusses being given a voice and uplifting people when it's scary. I imagine it would be scary to come out against Kevin Costner because he's a big name in the industry. I don't know, Blake, doesn't look like you're actually walking your talk because it's inconvenient for you. You'd have to go against the power player, Kevin Costner. And look, I've always liked Kevin. Yellowstone, fantastic. Kind of pissed that he left, but whatever. I've always liked Kevin. I was shocked. Maybe other people weren't. I was shocked by this. But Blake, you'd have to go against Kevin. So Blake Lively discussed being given a voice as she was named Time 100, the most influential of 2025, the Titan. And it says she brushed off the ongoing scandal as she took to her Instagram stories on Wednesday to gush over the prestigious honor. She said she poignantly spoke about being given a voice when it should be given. Thank time for uplifting those to live boldly when it's scary to do so. None of these people have spoken up for Devyn. I don't think Blake actually believes all women. And we know because of her allegiance to the Harvey Weinsteins and who did Cafe Society or whatever. Him. I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. She's consistently backed men that have histories of treating women poorly, of SH, of SA. She doesn't give a shit about women. Allegedly. My opinion only. My opinion only. Based on her own actions, right? In her testimonial, Sherry Lynn hailed Blake as a philanthropist and a serious person who was committed to move his country forward. How has Blake ever moved this country forward? But that's another day for another rant. All right. So we know over and over and over again, Blake has been getting amplified for being a voice for women. And it's a bunch of bullshit. It was all a PR marketing move. She was trying to what's called reputation launder her brand, or, reputation wash is a nicer way to put it. I like reputation laundering. And turning this into an opportunity when anyone with 2 brain cells can see that when she had the opportunity to speak for women during marketing of It Ends With Us, she didn't. She didn't speak out once about women. And her and her husband's company, Maximum Effort, were the ones that were in charge of the marketing for It Ends With Us. She cannot put that on anyone else. So when it counted to amplify women's voices, when she had an incredible opportunity to really be an advocate for women and amplify the voices of those less fortunate than her with less power than her, she didn't do anything. She didn't talk. She didn't stand up for anyone. She didn't use her voice. But then she promises to, because it's beneficial to her brand, because she can monetize her voice for women, using air quotes now. She can monetize this new stance she's taking. But interestingly enough, I don't see her saying anything on it. Has Blake spoken up for Devyn? How's Blake doing? And I don't follow her every day on Instagram. Actually, let's check it out right now. Let's see what Blake's up to. Blake Lively on Instagram. No stories. Haven't seen any from her recently. I bet there's women and children displaced in the Texas floods. I bet there's probably women's shelters or homeless or whatever the case may be. Women and children that could use her right now. Nothing from her. Nothing. Nothing. She's not speaking about the atrocities that happen worldwide towards women in different countries, but right in her own backyard, I know not literally, but in her own country, those horrific floods with children dying. Nothing. But the worst part is this. I'm going to show you what's really going on. So this is under Justin Baldoni news, and I just want you to notice something. So we're going to pull up Kevin Costner in a minute. So under Justin's name, it is flooded with just this mess. Blake Lively is going to be deposed. I have no doubt that's also his side that is happy that this is getting out there to hold her to the standard of like, you got to show up because now everyone knows. But look at this. Okay, so opinion, Blake Lively versus the misogyny slop ecosystem 1 day ago, New York Times. Ryan Reynolds calling the shots in Blake Lively fight against Justin Baldoni, says source. Is that surprising to anyone? Justin Baldoni granted access to Taylor Swift, Blake Lively text messages. Like, it's everywhere for Justin, under Justin's name on SEO. He can't get away from this. And overwhelmingly, Justin's SEO, his Google searches have been dominated by Blake Lively's narrative. And his team really hasn't fought back against that. This is under Blake Lively news. So it's talking a lot about the deposition. It talks about that we can bury anyone somehow, defying reality itself. That stupid New York Times, we can bury anyone article is still on front page. But it's dominating hers as well. Now, the interesting thing with hers is when we're looking at this deposition, again, I think there are some that are definitely leaning her way, but there's some that are leaning more Justin's. But let's just look, because remember, all of these publications care about amplifying women's voices, right? All of these publications that are bitching and moaning that people are amplifying Justin's story and people have an opinion and they're thinking for themselves and content creators are horrible. They care about women. They care about amplifying women's voices. They care about justice. They care about this misogyny slop ecosystem. Let's see how much they care. You ready for it? Let's all see how much they care, because I bet Kevin Costner's Google is flooded with hit pieces against him. I bet if you search their names, it's everywhere. That it's trending. That there was this allegation of SH on the film set against Kevin Costner. I bet you can't get away from it, because all these publications are saying that we need to care about the misogyny slop ecosystem. That we need to care about how women are treated. And they're taking a stand. Legacy media is taking a stand. Content creators, no, they're bad. They're sloppy. So let's see. I'm so excited to see how they're fighting for Devyn. Oh, shoot. So if I put their names in, there's been nothing since May 28th? Oh. But I thought you cared. I thought we were fighting for women against the misogyny slop ecosystem. But, oh crap. May 28th? May 27th? That's it? New York Post, June 24th. I mean, go New York Post. Is this it? May 28th? US Weekly has one June 25th. Are y'all seeing like a People magazine one? Keep your eyes peeled, my friends. That's Blake's favorite platform. Keep your eyes peeled. You know, maybe she put a statement out to People. I stand with Devyn and I stand with women that are mistreated on film sets. You know, I bet we see that from People. Okay, just keep looking. And I bet because New York Times keeps trying to amplify like this misogyny slop ecosystem, I bet New York Times, I mean, I must have just hit the wrong thing. I must have just hit the wrong thing, because there's no way that New York Times didn't talk about this, right? We'll keep looking. It's got to be here. Okay. All right. Well, oh, shoot. That's page 2. Page 3. Oh, God. Oh, God. Page 4? May 28th? International Business Time UK has one from June 30th. News International, June 27th, they're picking it up, but no, this doesn't make sense. I thought they cared. All right, let's look at it. I must have just searched for the wrong thing. Let's look somewhere else, guys. All right, guys, just like Justin Baldoni's Google searches are flooded by the news of Blake Lively, like, I have faith. Let's look at Kevin Costner's name, see what comes up. I know it's going to be there. Oh, okay. Kevin Costner forgotten horror movie that critics despise is now free to stream. 3 hours ago, MovieWeb. Fox News, Kevin Costner shares secret to raising 7 very different children in Hollywood spotlight. Okay. Oh, US Weekly, 2 weeks ago, stunt woman suing Kevin Costner alleges grape scene evidence or reveals grape scene evidence. Well, then everyone must have picked that up. If there's evidence, everyone must have picked that up. Okay, guys, we're going to find it. Oh, shit, people. Kevin Costner on retirement, if he has anything left on bucket list. Page 6, Kevin Costner and ex-wife Christine Baumgartner, that was butchered, keeps her distance in awkward family reunion 3 weeks ago. Kevin Costner reveals tragic truths uncovered in a new documentary, The West. Kevin Costner fires back at lawsuit from woman claiming she was forced into unscripted grape scene. 1 hour ago. Okay, here we go. We got this. 1 hour ago, we are going to be saved. Oh, shit, no. Kevin Costner forgotten 32% Rotten Tomatoes drama with a Wonder Woman star's streaming hit. Michael Madsen regretted starring in a major Kevin Costner flop. Kevin Costner reveals explosive clash with Yankees legend that almost derailed his classic film. Okay, page 2. Maybe he just got buried a bit by a 32% Rotten Tomato. Like, call me crazy. I would think that these types of allegations with evidence would be more important than a movie with 32% Rotten Tomatoes, but we'll check. No. Kevin Costner and January Jones sparked relationship speculation after stylish Hollywood encounter. Oh, here's People. 3 weeks ago, Kevin Costner reveals the biggest life lesson he has learned as a father to 7 children. Oh my God. Okay. Well, color me shocked, New York Times and People Magazine, Legacy Media, because I could have swore y'all were just telling me that we have to send Blake Lively, you're included in this. We have to be a voice for women, that we have to heal and fix this misogyny slop ecosystem, that we have to take down content creators because they're against and anti-women. Y'all seem just pro-Blake. Y'all seem like you just care about backing other Hollywood power players, allegedly, based on your actions. Because, Blake mentioned that what you monetize and how you live should be in alignment. I don't see anything. 2 weeks ago, Cosmo, Daily Mail reports Kevin Costner's friends are boycotting his ex's wedding in Hawaii. 1 day ago, Netflix is losing a Western epic perfect for Yellowstone fans. Stream this movie now. Anyone else feel gaslit right about now? Anyone else feel like they're bullshitting you and manipulating you right about now? Because it doesn't seem like any of them give a shit. Wow. Now, it looks like only US Weekly picked this up. Here's the thing. If you're a publication, and this isn't bullshit, it's true. If you're a publication that's attached to a heavy hitter and you have a story, it's very well known. You can go to that person. I'm not saying that's what happened here. This is not me accusing Kevin Costner of doing this, but it's very well known. So I have a dog here in my eye, that you can go to that person and say, hey, I've got this. What do you want me to do with it? It just seems weird that this didn't gain any traction. It just seems weird that this was only posted once. Don't you think? But then there's Justin Baldoni, who, I mean, as far as the eye can see on his Google listings, is dominated by his bullshit from Blake Lively. So she revealed evidence. Let's have a look. The stunt performer suing Kevin Costner and the production company behind the actor's big budget Western Horizon over an unscheduled grape scene on set revealed new evidence in court. Did anyone even know that there's anything going on in court? Here's the thing. I look up pop culture news. This hasn't been trending. There's been nothing on this. On June 18th, Devyn LaBella amended her lawsuit, which was originally filed in May against Costner 70 and Territory Pictures. In the filing, she included alleged text messages she exchanged with the film's intimacy coordinator the day after the alleged incident. I wanted to discuss yesterday's abomination when we both have a chance, LaBella 30 wrote. I was put in a really wrong position and it really affected me. The coordinator responded, oh no, I'm Devyn. She added, let's walk through it. In another alleged message, LaBella wrote to the coordinator, why was there no intimacy coordinator? And these are the images here. She continued, why was a stunt double doing this non-stunt work, especially given the sensitivity of it? LaBella added, who is going to take responsibility for the abuse of power? Isn't Blake supposed to be someone that cares about abuse of power? The coordinator wrote an alleged incident report that summarized LaBella's complaint. In the report, she claimed that several days after the incident, apologies were made to Ella Hunt and Devyn by various parties involved. The alleged report added, this was not a formal or uniform process. Ideally, apologies would be issued by Costner, the first AD, and others involved in both Ella and Devyn. Ella Hunt requested that the intimacy coordinator be brought back to provide support the following week. Production obliged. Devyn requested that production pay for her flight home that weekend so she could receive support from friends and family. Production obliged. As U.S. previously reported, LaBella sued over an alleged incident on May 2nd, 2023 on the set in Utah. She claimed she was the victim of a violent, unscripted, unscheduled grape scene directed by Costner. There's some more text messages provided as the watermark, so obviously they were provided directly to US Weekly. LaBella claimed the first several weeks of filming were without incident. She said she was informed she would be doubling for the majority of a scripted, aggressive, and intimate scene between one female character played by Hunt and another cast member played by Douglas Smith. She said the scene was shot on a closed set with an intimacy coordinator and there were no issues. However, she said things changed on another scene the following day. On May 2nd, she said she arrived on set to perform another scene as a double for Hunt. She said Hunt refused to shoot the scene after she learned it would involve actor Roger Ivans violently raking up her skirt. Ooh. The suit read, Costner, who was present on the set, specifically added the scene, which varied from the scene filmed the day before, which had not involved pulling up the skirt. LaBella said the actress became visibly upset and walked off the set. She said she was unaware of all of this. And there's these reparations. Several days after the incident, apologies were made both to Ella Hunt and Devyn LaBella by various parties involved. This was not a formal or uniform process. Ideally, apologies would be issued by the director, the first AD, and others involved to both Ella Hunt and Devyn LaBella. Ella Hunt requested that the intimacy coordinator be brought back to provide support the following week. Production obliged. Devyn LaBella requested that production pay for her flight home that weekend so she could receive support from family and friends. Production obliged. Moving forward, an intimacy coordinator should always be involved in the planning and preparation of intimate, vulnerable, or hyper-exposed scenes. Intimacy coordinator should always be on the set for these scenes to safeguard and support the actors, help the director achieve their vision, and protect the production. The suit again said Costner asked LaBella to stand in for the actress. LaBella was not a stand-in performer, and what Costner requested of her was not within the scope of her role as a stunt double. Nevertheless, and in complete ignorance of the nature of the actual shot Costner had planned for her, LaBella agreed to help out with what she thought would be a quick stand-in shot. She claimed nobody warned her or prepared her for Ivan's 44 to perform or engage in any action on top of her. And she first learned that Ivan's would mount her and violently pull up her skirt when he was already on top of her doing so. In addition, she claimed the intimacy coordinator was not present on set. As directed by Costner, this unscripted, unrehearsed scene consisted of Ivan's getting on top of LaBella while miming unbuttoning of his pants and using his body and arms to pin her down. She was on her back, LaBella, underneath him. Ivan's violently wrestled her skirt up as if trying to, you have to be careful with YouTube, grape her, and he was directed to pin her legs. Wow, the suit reads. LaBella claimed it was awkward on set after she complained, but she finished production. She said she was not asked back to work on Horizon 3, which started filming in early 2024. The suit also alleged one of LaBella's longtime friends in the industry who worked on the film suddenly cut contact with her in retaliation of her complaints of SH on the set and has not hired her since this for any additional roles. Where are you, New York Times? Where are you, Blake Lively? People Magazine, Page 6, Hollywood Reporter. You all have a lot to say against Justin Baldoni and propping up the angelic Blake Lively. But this just goes to show that it's just about Blake Lively. And you know, I can just foresee Blake supporters being like, yeah, but content creators aren't ripping Devyn apart, so that's why. So legacy media can only amplify a woman's voice, can only support women if it's against content creators. And I can just foresee that argument coming up. So the only time legacy media can amplify a woman's voice, the only time Blake Lively can speak out is against content creators. It is just absurd. So don't even come here with that bullshit. LaBella said that Costner and his team made public statements aimed at further destroying her opportunities for work by branding her a serial accuser and someone looking for a money grab because she supposedly never complained or was bothered by the events of what took place on May 2nd, 2023. Her lawyer added, in reality, in nearly a decade of stunt performing work, LaBella has never before lodged a complaint against any employer. Costner's lawyer, Marty Singer, told the Post that LaBella's claims have no merit. Kevin Costner always wants to make sure that everyone is comfortable working on his films, takes safety on set very seriously, Singer said. However, this claim by Devyn LaBella has absolutely no merit, and it's completely contradicted by her own actions and the facts. Singer claimed LaBella continued to work on the film after the alleged incident. She continued to work on the movie for a few more weeks until her wrap date, and she took the stunt coordinator to a thank you dinner. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you guys today. I just find it really interesting, don't you? That both Blake is silent after speaking out about being a voice for women, and legacy media is silent after claiming that they're standing up against this misogyny slop ecosystem. Everyone's silent about Devyn. And the interesting thing for me is I'm always inclined to believe the woman. And I'm also inclined to be like, let's see how this shakes out in court. Let's see how it shakes out. He's saying that it's completely contradictory to what happened. She's saying she has all this proof. She has these text messages that are showing that she complained about it at the time, about an intimacy coordinator. I'd love to see his evidence. I mean, if his evidence is just like, trust me, bro, it's different. Sounds a lot like Blake's. Trust me, bro. Do not believe your eyes on what you see and your ears on the dance scene. Right? But it's silent. No one's speaking up against Kevin Costner. And the people that are speaking up against Justin Baldoni are supporting Blake, another A-lister. Kind of weird, right? It's almost like it's this unspoken power player rule that you protect the rich and famous, that you protect the ones that make you money. And Justin Baldoni doesn't fit that. So it's easy to take him down. Just wild. Let me know what you think in the comments. But not just Blake being silent. Legacy media is too. And to me, silence is very loud right now. With that, guys, I'll see you in the next one.